Okay, so in this video, I'll be showing you, let me turn on my shortcut display. And also the zoom it. Okay, zoom it is already on by default. Okay, so over here you see the mesh item which I quickly created using several tools, right? Which I think most of you are still not familiar with yet, for this class at least. So I'm going to just start from beginning here. So with this mesh, right, you can apply a bend modifier, then convert it into, say, a waste paper basket. So which I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to delete this mesh first and start from the beginning. So the first object you want to create is of course a plane, and we want to scale out the plane. And if you want your mesh to be finer, okay, you want to use more subdivisions. So you can go over to the polyplane. Under the subdivisions, right now it's currently 10 by 10. I think I want a finer mesh, so probably I'll use a very high value like 40 by 40. Okay, so that should give me a mesh, right, that is very, very fine. Now, looking at this again, I realized that I need it to be a bit wider along the, say, x-axis. So right now, looking at the x-axis, the width is about 1 unit. Maybe I want to use about maybe 2 units, so that later I can wrap it around. So for width, I'm going to double that to 80 subdivisions so that the squares are consistent like this. All right. So we want to keep all these square faces consistent. So once we are done, we can now run an operation called poke the faces. So poking the faces means I want to create a crosshatch pattern, right, on these faces. So go ahead into face selection mode, double click to select the mesh so that all the faces are selected. Then shift right mouse click, right, you can find a option that says poke face. Poke face is at the marking menu for faces, right? Shift right mouse click on face at about 2 o'clock. So choose poke face, and you should cross hatch all your faces like this. So it basically converts everything into a triangular face. But obviously we do not want to work with triangular faces. So right now we need to get the edges that runs across like that. So go to edge and then select one of the edges here, and then I want to show you one of the most powerful tools in Maya that is called select similar. So right now I selected a vertical line that goes this way. Then if you go over to select menu, click on select, and then there's an option that says similar. If you click on similar, right, then Maya is smart enough to determine that, oh, you want to select all the horizontal and vertical lines, so they will do it for me. So then the next thing I want to do is to delete them. Now to delete them, right, rather than just pressing delete key, you want to press Control Delete. All right, even though there are no vertices across each of the edges. So right now you can see we created this crosshatch pattern, but if you look at the edges, we still have this issue here. Okay, we still have these edges that have a split into triangles. So again, we're going to use select similar to help us. You can select a couple like this in the corner here, then go and click on select similar, and then all the edges, right, will be selected. Then press Control Delete again to remove them. Then next, I want to get rid of all these triangular faces. So again, select similar to the rescue. So select one triangular face in face selection mode, select, then similar. Then all the triangular faces will be selected, and then for this one, we can just press delete. Right. So right now, we are having all quad faces all over the place. So the next operation we want to do is to double click one face to select all the faces, then apply and extrude. Now for this extrude, you have to extrude just a little bit, just a tiny little bit. So shift right mouse click and extrude the face. Then we're going to use offset, right, to offset it inwards. Keep faces together should be off. Keep faces together should be off. So we want to offset it inwards just a tiny little bit. Okay, if your offset is too sensitive, just click on this pie menu to bring it down to the bare minimum. So you want to offset it until you can see like it is a fine edge like that. Okay, so if you want your holes to be smaller, then of course you offset it more. If you want your holes to be bigger, then you offset it just a little bit. I think this is looking good for me. Okay, then with the offset done, we can just press delete to delete away the faces, and then we have our crosshatch wire mesh. Right now this crosshatch wire mesh does not have any definition. All right, so we want to give it an illusion of thickness. So the illusion of thickness, right, is to just select the edge here, select one of the edges here, and then again select similar to our rescue. Just click on select similar, then all the edges will be selected. Okay, in wireframe mode you can see now all the edges are selected. Now except for the edges on the side here. Okay, anyway, we're going to be trimming away all these sides here later on. So I'm going to click on one of the edge here and one of the edges here, and then I'm going to click on select similar again. So all the edges, right, should be intelligently selected, okay, except for maybe this one. Okay, some of it you might have to manually select now, but for the rest of the faces on the side here, we will be manually deleting them later on. Okay, why do I want to select the edges like this? Because let's change my point of view. Okay, now if I go to shaded mode, you can see that this mesh right now is completely flat. I need to go over to the center to do this. So I'm going to press W. I'm going to locate my move manipulator. I'm just going to move this up just a tiny little bit. Okay, is it snapping on? Yeah, I think my snapping, is it on? No, it's not. Okay, for some reason my move, right, the snap is on. So I'm going to go over to my move tools, double click on the move, and I'm going to reset my tool. Okay, reset the tool, and then I should be able to move it just by a little bit. Still, it is moving in steps, so I don't know. Okay, maybe under my modeling toolkit, let's see. Step snap is off, so I don't know why this thing is still snapping. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and then see whether I can. Okay, now for some reason, right, it works again. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to move it up vertically just a little bit, and I want to make sure that I'm moving it correctly. It seems that, yeah, I've distorted the shape a little bit, so let me undo that. I'm going to undo it so that it's back to the same flatness again. Okay, I think I'm going to zoom out a little bit and then just move the arrow up again, and for some reason it is still not cooperating. I'm going to undo this, reset my tool. And I want to try to use the value instead to move X, Y. So I want to move it along the Y axis, maybe 0.001. Can I move it? No, I can't. No, this is the pivot. Okay, let me see. I cannot move it by channel box. I'm going to try to manually move it up again. Okay, this is very annoying. I think it could be the scaling issue because I'm moving in such a small area. So, is something stuck here? Yeah, I reset already, but every time I click on it, right, it doesn't want to respond. And then when I move my mouse several times, then it will move. Okay, so right now I'm just going to eyeball this. Just push it up ever so slightly. Now, some of you might want to just select all the faces and extrude. You can do that also. All right, I think this is good enough. Okay, I don't want to fiddle with this anymore. So this is basically what I want to do. I selected the crosshatch edges and then pull it up. So now my mesh has some definition. So right now I have more than enough mesh, right, to create the waste paper basket. So first I need to trim off those faces, right, that didn't get modeled properly. So go over to my top view. So right, switch over to face mode and then just drag until the marquee line, right, touches the edge, and then just delete away those faces. Right, so it's a little bit hard to see. Just let the edge touch those faces and then just delete. Okay? Then repeat for all the corners. Delete. And finally, this one, does it need trimming? Yes. So this one more edge. Okay, it's too far away. Let me go to Control Spacebar, or is it no? Is it I think it's Control Spacebar. Yeah, Control Spacebar to go to Pro Full Desktop mode. Then I can see more. Then select this edge and delete. Alright, so now we have one clean piece of mesh. Good time to save. Save scene as waste paper basket mesh underscore 01. So now go and select the object, go and rotate it 90 degrees facing up, holding down the J, 90 degrees like that. Then you know what we're going to apply next. We're going to apply a bend modifier. So if you still remember where it is, it should be under deform, okay, and then under non-linear, we want to apply a bend. All right, so right now this bend tool, right, the axis is also incorrect, so we need to, oh wait, actually it could be correct. Let me just leave it as default first. We are going to select the bend modifier, and then go to the curvature here, and then going to apply. Okay, right now I don't think we have applied the bend to this yet. So okay, this is the correct axis that we want to do. Well, actually I applied it already, but I can see that it is not applying to my mesh. Okay, so I think we have to rotate this. Let me just rotate the bend modifier and see whether it, yep, actually it makes it worse. Okay, so doesn't matter. I'm gonna start all over. I'm gonna get rid of the bend modifier, because every time you do a rotation, right, you should freeze the transformation, which I did not do just now. So I'm gonna freeze the transformation, okay, and delete history. Right, then I'm going to apply the bend modifier again. So with this mesh selected, go to deform, non-linear, and then apply a bend. Okay, and then this time I'm going to apply the curvature again. Okay, you can see that the axis is incorrect, so that is fine. We're going to do it all the way to 100% first. Okay, 100, it only gives you like half a circle, so I guess it has to go all the way to 200. All right, then next, select the bend modifier. It's still selected. We can use rotation. Okay, not our mesh, our bend modifier. Okay, which now I cannot select it. We can come over here to select the bend handle, and then holding down to J under rotate, right, and rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, actually, I think, yeah. Oh, sorry, I should be rotating it this way, I think. What's going on here? Oh, wait, this one. It's this way, sorry.
It's the other.
Yeah, it's the J axis. Yeah, this way.
No.
Yeah.
You still
Right.
do the red color one.
Oh, then we have to move it, right? No, it's correct,
You
it's
still
correct.
need to rotate the other way, right?
I know, but it's okay. This
Oh,
is fine. Yeah, this is right. This is correct. Okay, so only thing is because my mesh right now, it is not oriented properly to the bend. That's why there's not enough. Okay, let me see the let me check the orientation again, because you're sometimes using this bend, right, can be a bit confusing. Okay, so this is the correct orientation that it should be facing. But however, the longest part of my mesh, right, is not wrapping around it. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to select the mesh itself, and I'm going to try to rotate this the other way like this. Yeah, see, I can rotate the mesh 90 degrees. So right now, you can see that the mesh definitely can overlap. Okay, so for my mesh, I need to rotate it 90 degrees. So there's a little bit of adjustment, right, in order to get this to work. So now, I can select the handle, go to the bend modifier, under the curvature, just keep on adjusting this until, okay, right now the numbers are keep on snapping. I don't know what's wrong with my numbers here, yeah. So keep adjusting, right, until you can see both ends, right, are merging perfectly, right? So like what I'm doing here. So the value is actually 180. Okay, it's perfect, right? So you can see now I got a perfect mesh that's connected. Then I can delete the history of this mesh so that the bend will be applied permanently. So go over to delete history here, or under edit, delete by type history. So once I delete the history, you notice the bend modifier has disappeared as well, and our center has shifted. So we have to center the pivot, okay? And then we're going to rotate this 90 degrees, holding down the J, snap rotate, and completing this is very easy now. So I'm going to move this back to 0. Okay. Rotation, I'm going to freeze transformation first, reset everything, and then just move it back here. Alright, so we got a nice mesh here, but remember, one of the edges, right, is not connected. Okay, actually right now I can't tell which one is which. So I'm going to apply a general merge, right? So go to select all vertices, right, all the vertices. So those vertices, right, that is on the edge just now, with the sides, right, should merge together. All right, let me see my okay, right now I have an issue. You see that my mesh, right, is reversed. All right, I should have what do you call that? Bend it the other way around. But you can see that my solid part, right, is pointing inwards rather than outwards. Okay, so not a problem. We can fix it. First, let's merge this first. Okay, let's apply a merge. So shift right mouse click, merge vertices. Merge vertices, go to the option box. We use the default value. This is very small, so we can merge. So any vertices that are on top of each other, right, should be merged together. Okay, so that operation is done. So let's try to flip this so that the edge, right, is going the other way around. So to do that, right, we just need to select the inner edge. We're going to use our select similar again. Okay, and then it should be smart enough to select for us. Okay, so you can see all the inner edges are selected. But now, instead of moving, right, we're going to use scale instead. So use the scale tool. Okay, and then we're going to non-uniform scale them out. Okay, non-uniform scale means we're going to scale along the Z and X axis only. So this one you have to do it very slowly. Okay, again, my manipulator is not cooperating. Yeah, just a little bit. So I'm going to push this out a little bit. Okay, actually, I'm just going to just leave it out like that. Okay, now I see it is sticking out already. Okay, but now my mesh, right, is flipped. So not a problem. With the mesh selected, go to mesh display and then click on reverse. So right now my mesh should look correct. Yeah, this is what I want. Now you don't have to apply subdivide for this. If you press number 3 to subdivide this, yeah, this warning message will come out and say that you're going to generate a lot of faces and it will cause your computer to crash. So you say no, don't. So don't press number 3 on this. Well, actually it went away with it. So if you press number 3 with it, right, you end up with circular holes. So maybe that's not a bad thing. So if this is the variation that you want. So but anyway, I do not want that. Let me select this. I actually want it to look like this. Okay, let me just save another version of this. Save scene as number 2. Okay, so now I want to convert this into a waste paper basket. Of course, we need to first create the base, which is just a cylinder. And we're just going to use the default cylinder, scale it up non-uniformly, and flatten it this way, then bring it to the bottom. So, and then just scale it non-uniformly until it is connected. Okay, so I want to make this cylinder look a little bit nicer. So I'll use multi-cut, right, for this cylinder, not this mesh, this cylinder here. Use multi-cut to and bevel, I think. So select, create these blue loops here. So this is manually creating the bevel. Select this face, then double click to select the loop. Then use non-uniform scaling again, and then just scale up. So I got a bit of bevel. Alright, now I've got the bottom done. So let's say you want to create something, the rim around the edge. Because right now this part looks very dangerous. You want to, you need to create a rim around it. So you can just create a donut or torus. Shift right mouse click and create a torus. And I'm going to bring up the torus here. Right now the torus is a bit high resolution. The diameter is also not the radius that I want. I'm going to increase the radius until it fits the edge. Okay, right now the mesh, right, is also not exactly in the center. So select the mesh from the top view. In move mode, right, hold down to X, then you can snap it to the center. So everything is lined up nicely. Okay, right now my cylinder is too small. I'm going to scale it up non-uniformly. Scale it up until it fits. Okay, then for our donut, we can still increase the scale, the radius rather, until it is right matched in the center. Then we manually move up the donut until it's touching. Then the inner radius, we're just going to reduce the size. Then bring it up. Now if you feel that the donut is not high res enough, you can increase the number of subdivisions. We're going to increase the subdivision maybe to 36. Yeah, I think this should be good enough. Because from far away, right, you can't really tell the difference anymore. Now, the number of divisions that's running across, right, might be a bit too much. So, I'll reduce that to maybe just 12. Okay, we don't need so many sections for this. All right. And then we're going to apply a smooth surface on it. So, mesh display, click on this, soften hardened edges. Right, so now it should look smooth. Well, actually, it still looks hard. Wait, sorry. Just mesh display, soften the edge. Yeah, now the edges are now softened. So if you want a very simple style waste paper basket, you can stop here. Now, what about those who want a bit of conical shape? You want it to give it a conical shape. So first, let me just duplicate another one. Holding down the shift and apply a mesh. We can also use the deform tool again under the non-linear. You can apply a flare. Okay, and then go over to the start flare or end flare. Okay, I'm going to try the end flare Z, right? And then just push it out. Then now you have a waste paper basket with a wider rim on top. Very simple. And if you want to keep this shape permanent, just delete away the history. Alright, so now I'm going to just borrow the donut again, the torus. Okay, duplicate another torus. Right in the center here, duplicate the base. Okay, I don't have to do anything to the base, but for the torus, right, I just need to scale it up. Okay, right now, because I duplicated this, I have to manually scale this up until it matches the rim. But you guys get the idea. Alright. Alright, my flaring is also badly done. So, I created this shape instead. So, I think just now I only did one axis. So, my mistake, let me just delete this and try again. And let's apply the flare again, alright. Alright, go to deform. Non-linear, flare. Just now I applied the end flare, I only applied in the x-axis, so I should apply the same value in the z-axis as well. So end flare, move it up. So what's the value? 1.246. Well, actually we can do both at the same time. You can shift select both these values, and then now I can flare them out at the same time. And bingo, we are done. Delete away the history, and now it's permanent. Okay, and then if you want to join all of them together, you can parent the torus, right, and the base, right, to the center of the mesh. Right, so select these two, then shift select the mesh, and then press P. So every time you want to move the mesh, right, or the basket, you can just select the center and can move it around. So these are still separate objects. Okay, but remember, if you apply it or merge it together, right, and then you press number 3, then you're going to end up with circular holes. Okay? So that will basically solve your question on how to create a waste paper basket. Okay, and with that, I'll end the video.